Hello everyone, it's me, Alisa Vardomska, glad to welcome you to my channel. Today I want to talk to you about how a narcissist manipulates. 12 signs that a narcissist is manipulating you. Who are narcissists? Narcissists are people who, without a shred of conscience, hurt you, hurt your soul. They will not think about what you feel, how you feel. They will only think about how they feel themselves. These are toxic people who will go to great lengths to achieve their goals. As long as they feel the way they want to feel at that moment, they resort to truly cruel methods towards their partners, who often do not even realize that they have actually fallen into a trap. So now we will talk about how a narcissist acts and what signs indicate that a narcissist is near you. And the first sign is devaluation. It's a kind of cruel game where at the very beginning of a relationship, for example, a narcissist ingratiates themselves with you, praising your virtues, and you will feel like you're on a pedestal, feeling incredibly wonderful. Your self-esteem will grow. But the moment you fall into the trap of that very narcissist, when he realizes that you are in his hands, he will start to belittle all those virtues he once praised, and now you will feel much worse. Often a person's self-esteem drops. This is the action of a manipulator, the action of a narcissist, to crush the personality, to make the person stop believing in themselves, to gain complete control, to obtain power over the person. Next, episodes of aggression. If episodes of aggression occur in the manipulator, you simply need to run away from these relationships. And now you will understand why. What kinds of aggression can occur in a manipulator? Threatening and intimidating. This is simply the first thing an aggressive narcissist does. If you receive threats or intimidation and you realize that you feel scared being with this person, you need to leave urgently. Next. Control of all social networks. If you realize that you can't take a step without his permission, meaning he has started to control all your communications, your friends, girlfriends, acquaintances, he forbids you from communicating with relatives, saying that your relatives are bad, your girlfriends are bad, everything around you is bad. And that's why he is in a way saving you by shielding you from everything bad. In reality, he wants to control you completely so that you belong to no one but him and so that you have no escape routes. That is everything so that you are completely under his control. So if a person controls everything, your messages, calls, social media, meaning he is everywhere, then you have fallen into the hands of a manipulator. Next, prohibition on communication. I have already mentioned this before. This prohibition can be explicit or implicit. That is, he can openly say that he forbids you to communicate with someone, or he may lead you to the conclusion that you cannot communicate. That is, again, through his cunning ways, lead you to the thought that there is no one around you besides him, who is normal, meaning everyone wishes you something bad, everyone wants something from you, everyone is using you, or he can project himself onto other people and he makes you do what he wants. In the end, when, for example, the manipulator initially stated something to you and you disagreed with something, meaning you were not willing to do something, ultimately, he will make you do what he wants. And you might think that you came to this conclusion on your own, that what you are doing, that this thought is correct, that initially you should have listened. That is, in fact, a person can manipulate to such a degree that they make you do not what you want, but what they want. Next, ignoring and labeling. Another form of manipulation, that is, they can ignore your feelings, your opinion, desires. Indeed, it is really very painful when this happens. That is, when you express yourself, say something, want to talk about your feelings, about your opinion, he seems not to hear you. By changing the subject of the conversation, that is, pointing out that your opinion doesn't matter at all, it feels as if you are a nobody, and in that moment you feel even more insecure, realizing that you might be saying something foolish, something wrong, and at that moment your self-esteem drops, which is exactly what the narcissist needs. And another harmful trait is labeling. That is, if, for example, you talk about something that didn't go well, you come home, wanting to share some of your problems. Something happened to you, and you want support. But with a narcissistic manipulator, that won't happen. That is, you come in, talk about something, and hear a phrase directed at you like, "You're just a failure. It always happens to you. You never succeed." Or, "You're just a loser." That's how narcissists operate. And what happens at that moment? A person starts to truly believe that they are a failure. And that's why nothing works out. In healthy relationships, in happy, normal relationships, when something doesn't work out, people support each other and give each other wings. And at that moment, a person simply understands that, yes, it's a difficult moment, but next time something will definitely work out for me. They don't give up trying to do something. A narcissist doesn't need that. He does not need to uplift you. He needs to pin you down to the ground so that you obey, to kill your self-esteem and have complete control over you. Next, shame. Well, again, they manipulate through the feeling of shame. Again, belittling your self-esteem. That is, you wanted something, said that you liked something, you wanted to go somewhere, and then you hear directed at you that you are shameless, for example, ungrateful, that so much has been done for you. And this feeling often arises in a woman that, well, indeed, yes, where am I? And he has done so much for me, and I live quite well. And here I am with my own problems, desires, and interests. No, that's it, I can't have that. It is very easy to manipulate with shame, especially if a person is kind-hearted and soulful, to whom narcissists often cling. Next, gaslighting. In essence, it is another type of manipulation, essentially. Narcissists often use it. That is, what is gaslighting? It is the ability of a narcissist to make you feel, well, let's say, a bit inadequate, and often even a little. That is, it makes you doubt your own perception of the world, your own adequacy. And they twist facts, words, and the person already thinks, yes, indeed, I acted differently here, I did it wrong. He opened my eyes to this while I thought completely differently, and anything can be presented this way. For example, a cheating man with all the facts of infidelity evident, such as lipstick, perfume, and other things, and spending the night at home, will still make, for example, a woman think that she is inadequate, that she has imagined all of this, that she needs to see a doctor. Next, projection. A narcissist often tries to place the blame for their actions on you. He projects and often sees himself in you in a way that he can relate to or understand better. That is from psychology. A person often projects themselves onto others. So a narcissist will look for that same narcissist in you, a manipulator, a person who, for example, loves no one. If you ever hear such things directed at you that you have never heard before, and it is understood that, in principle, all of this exists in the person next to you, they simply place the blame on you for their actions. That is, he projects, he sees himself, but he cannot even admit to himself that he is such a bad person. It is easier for him to blame you for what is happening. Moving on. Triangulation, again, is a very complex manipulation, and indeed, a person who falls into the hands of a manipulator then needs a long time to recover because their self-esteem is completely destroyed and the person stops believing in themselves, not believing that they are capable of anything. Triangulation is one of these manipulations. It involves bringing other parties into the relationship, and triangulation can take different forms. It can involve exes, friends, relatives, or authoritative figures, possibly parents, in order to manipulate you even more. And let's say, pushing your opinion aside, they will say that, for example, this person said so, and she says this about you, and he says that. And for instance, some relative is against the relationship with you, so that the victim in these relationships tries very hard to earn favor, to earn a place next to them. And at that moment, the narcissist is at their peak, on the rise. He understands that the victim is so much in his hands, so submissive to him. Well, that is what he needs. Next, manic stalking. This occurs only when the victim does not succumb to other manipulations. That is, he tried to win her favor. Perhaps a relationship was starting and the woman realized, whether a woman or a man, realized that the person next to her was trying to achieve something from her and decided to leave the relationship. So at this moment, the narcissist may resort to manic stalking. That is, he does not believe that the victim has truly slipped out of his hands. These can be obsessive calls, surveillance, stalking. That is, you are just walking and he is somewhere nearby. Again, just to achieve the desired outcome. Next, insult. The insult is used by the manipulator, the narcissist, to devalue you. We have already talked about devaluation. We talked about this wicked game. Manipulation through love. Well, here a game is played on feelings and the person starts saying, look at all I've done for you. I love you so much. You are ungrateful. And at that moment, again, this game on feelings can instill in a person some feelings of guilt and shame that he really did something for me. I am ungrateful. That is, a person can be made to believe anything if you are constantly being made to feel that you are somehow not right, that everything is wrong with you, and you realize that in your relationship with this person, it feels like everything inside you is tightening. You don't understand what is happening to you. It feels like you are breaking. You know that this is an unhealthy relationship. In truly healthy, happy relationships, both women and men blossom like a flower, becoming more beautiful and better without any of these terrible ways of pressuring a person's psyche. Next, addressing emotions. Well, again, to evoke feelings of fear, guilt, and helplessness in you. That is, playing on your feelings and emotions so that you fall completely under the control of a narcissist. And finally, the power of the crowd. Narcissists often, let's say, know how to attract, meaning they can have a large social circle, they can be social media stars, and they have some admirers. And this crowd often exerts pressure on the person who has fallen into the hands of the narcissist. And the narcissist skillfully manipulates, let's say, their victim by saying phrases like, and my friends say this. And there on social media, they wrote that you are shameless, for example, for acting like this. That is using the opinion of the crowd against you, and naturally the person's self-esteem is undermined, creating a sense that the victim's perception of reality is inadequate. That is, for example, my partner sees how I behave in front of the crowd, which means something is wrong with me, that there is something wrong with me. Again, in order to manipulate you, to keep you close, to not let you go. That's all for this video. I was Alice Vardomska. I hope for your likes and subscriptions. Write in the comments what you would like to discuss in my new videos. Don't forget to hit the bell, and goodbye everyone.